back this week. I was able to get some more parts in for my new chassis that I'm building. Basically, I'm building this new slash base drag car with basically all aftermarket parts for the most part. This is what I built last week. So this is basically an Anza chassis. That's the company that makes this. It is an aluminum and carbon fiber chassis. Most of the parts you see on here come with the kit. This front carbon fiber piece, all the mounts in here, this rear mount back here, all comes with the kit, including these side panels here. All that was included in the kit. I added STRC shock towers, front and rear, and a STRC bulkhead up front. The only thing I did after the video last week was I mounted this. I had it just set on there at the end of the video, and then I put the battery straps in. They were just real easy to do, so I just did those after the video because it wasn't anything major. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with the chassis. So this week I got some parts in. First part, I got an aluminum hot racing transmission. This is just a case, no gears or anything like that in it. So I got that, and I already had this. I picked this up off of eBay. This is a VXL transmission, so I'm going to take all the gears out of here, obviously put them in that case. I also picked up, this is probably one of the things that's going to be plastic on this truck. This is a wheelie bar mount, bumper wheelie bar mount from RPM. So I need this to run a wheelie bar on this transmission. I grabbed steering, so it's an STRC steering kit. I grabbed this in gunmetal. It is aluminum. And I also grabbed a hinge pin brace. I was just ordering stuff. These were actually on sale. STRC was on sale at Tower Hobby, so I grabbed these because it's on sale right now. It's all the parts I have right now. I am looking for arms for this, aluminum arms. It seems, I think one company might make them. I'm not positive, but I know Integy makes them. On Integy's website, they're pretty much out of stock on decent colors, meaning gunmetal, silver. I think blues are out of stock also. They have orange and green, but I'm not going to run orange and green on this because it'll look ridiculous. So, and most of it on the website states that it's out of stock till December. So hopefully that's not true, and hopefully I can track down a set. I've been looking on eBay, and I've been looking on their site, and anywhere I can to try to find front and back ones. So I'm pretty much stuck at that point if I can't find arms for this, because I need banded arms. I don't need slash arms. I need banded arms, and I think Integy is the only one that makes banded arms in aluminum. So kind of at a point where once I get this stuff built, I don't know how much further I can go until I get those arms. But yeah, this week I'm going to get the transmission done, get that all mounted up, get the steering mounted up, basic stuff. So we'll get this out of the way and start knocking out this transmission. Alright, so I decided to start with the steering, and then I realized that basically since I'm just starting from scratch, meaning this is all aftermarket and I don't have another slash that I'm taking all this stuff off of, this kit needs specific screws to mount this crossbar here. I was able to find two, but I don't know if they're right. They are the right size, the right length. So I'm going to attempt to put this together with those and see what happens. Alright, so I got it mounted in there. These screws aren't right. I have to find my slash instructions and figure out what I need for the right screws, because if I tighten these down, you can hear how loose it is. Let me see. I don't know if you can hear that, but It's super loose. This crossbar is super loose. If I tighten these 2 screws down, it just locks up. So there's no in between. So I need to find the exact screws for a stock belt crank and order those and then put those in there. But it's in there for now. It looks decent. Color's pretty close, so happy with that. We're going to get on to the transmission. So I had it almost back together, and then I realized that these little outer parts here that are molded onto that transmission actually have to be screwed in from the inside, so I had to take it back apart and screw both of those on. So we'll get back to it now. Alright, so I got the transmission pretty much all together. Obviously I don't have a spur gear on it yet, but that's not a big deal. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I'm going to mount this wheelie bar bumper mount. So this is the RPM wheelie bar bumper mount. Obviously this is a stock transmission, that's what it's built for. So it slides in here like this, and you can see one screw go here. It has screw holes, and they pretty much line up with the stock transmission case, as you can see here. Now I always see people online ask how you can run a wheelie bar with this transmission. So this transmission comes with these 2 little things, that long screw, that little spacer, some lock nuts, and there's some other screws involved too that come with it, but I got them kind of mixed up. This is a screw that I had. This is, I believe, 3mm by 40. So these 2 right here, one of them is hollow, meaning no threads, and one of them is threaded. Okay, so how I'm going to run this is right here. So I'm going to, this area on this transmission is actually threaded. It is for the gear cover. So we're going to start with that one. I'm going to do it backwards. Some people do it the opposite way, where they run a screw through here and then put a lock nut on it. But since this is threaded, there's really no reason to do that. If I do ever run a gear cover on here, I'll just get a longer screw, run it through, and put a lock nut on it. So that's first. Now, next, the threaded one. This is the hollow one. So this screw hole right here, this hollow one. So what I'm going to do is run it to here. This is a 40mm 3x40mm screw right through, and then a lock nut. I'm not going to tighten it all down, but as you can see, that there. I might try to find a shorter one, a little bit shorter, so there's less overhang. Alright, next, this center one right here, this little spacer. So all you have to do is slide this spacer into here, this over top of it, drop that in. Now it should come through the other side. Alright, and then another lock nut. Like I said, I'm not going to tighten it all down. Now, the bottom part is a little bit easier. This is the threaded one. Right here. So I'm going to put one screw on this side. Again, because it's threaded. We'll hold it. Flip it over here. Use this screw. Like I said, some of these screws I had. Some of them did come with the kit, and then some of them I had to take out of either off of the other chassis or whatever. I just had some screws laying around. Some of them came with the kit. I do have the K&K hardware kit. So obviously this is what mine's going to look like. Obviously tightened down. The reason why I'm not going to tighten these down right now is I am looking to get another spacer for in here, just for some added support. I mean, let me just tighten them so you can see. Oh, wrong size. This screw's a little bit bigger. So, just do this. Like I said, I'm just tightening this down so you can see that it's pretty sturdy. But I am going to try to find another spacer for inside of here. But I mean, there's a little bit of flex in it, but I mean, there's not much. So basically that's how you run it. Now the wheelie bar, just like stock, attaches, like it was a stock bumper, attaches to these 4 points. So, but that's it. It's basically how you run a wheelie bar mount on this transmission. Alright, so go over everything this week. One thing, I didn't do the video in one day, so I had time today, and I ran to my local hobby shop and I got the correct screws for the steering, which are these right here. This is a Traxxas number 3742. They're like a shoulder screw steering kit, I don't know, but the steering, these are the right screws and they work so much better. So, and they're tight. As far as the rear, transmission's basically mounted. This is nice and sturdy. Like I said, I'm going to look into getting another piece, but I don't even know if I need it. Now, I did run into one issue when I went to mount the transmission. Obviously, I got screws in the bottom, mounted up. I couldn't get this top screw. Let's see. You can see this right here. This top screw right here. I couldn't get it in. And basically, the reason why is the way this transmission is made. It actually bumps into this mount for this shock tower. So I'm probably going to have to Dremel it down a little bit to get it to fit correctly. So that's why I only got a couple screws in it, just kind of loosely holding it. So because I'd take it back off and figure out how to get that to fit right. I think if I Dremel it down, it'll work its way out and be fine. You're obviously not going to see that part, so it doesn't really matter. But as for this week, it's pretty much all I'm going to do because that's all the parts I have. But I got the majority of it done that I wanted to get done. It's coming together, but like I said, I'm at a standstill because I can't find the arms that I need. But this is it right now, and as soon as I get more parts, we'll get back on this.